you set off another explosion, sis. I cannot defend you this time. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we're back with another reaction to Arcane. We're now into episode 6, which is called When These Walls Come Tumbling Down. So in the last episode, we finally got our introduction to the adult version of Vi. We now know what happened to her all those years. I think most of us already guessed that she ended up in prison, but to find out that her whole situation was buried by the corrupt cop and that she could have been in there for life if it hadn't been for Caitlin showing up and rescuing her is really sad and scary. But she's out, she's back in the Undercity, but she now is also aware of how things have been since she left, and the fact that pretty much it seems like all the Undercity is under Silco's control now, and more importantly, her baby sister, who she thought was a captive, she now found out has been with Silco voluntarily this whole time, and that their relationship is super close. So I'm about to jump into that, but before I do, if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. I hope that you like it here. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. It helps a lot with the algorithm and lets people know that this is good stuff. And if you really like it, maybe you'll think of hitting that subscribe button. That way you can be notified when I do more reactions to this show, as well as many others that are in a very similar vein. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back. And again, same for you. Hopefully this time you might think about hitting that subscribe button and helping me on my journey to 10K. I would love to have you there with me. All right, that out of the way, guys, let's get into episode 6 right about now. Oh, is this baby Victor? Oh, he's been sick the whole time. He's like, see what I'm doing? Think it's cool? She said no. It's all right, Vic, she ain't the one. If she can't see the genius in what you just did, it ain't worth it. Oh, he's always been a smarty pants. He can't even keep up with his creation. This doesn't look like a place you should be going, like, ever. But particularly if you don't have full mobility. What are these glowing shrooms here?
Don't be afraid.
I'm terrified.
Why aren't you playing with the others?
More like, why aren't they playing with me? Wait, you don't just take things strangers offer you, Victor? Wait, purple stuff.
She's dying.
That's what Silco's using, right? The stuff that's in the vials he's using is purple.
We can be loners together.
Oh, this poor kid just wanted a friend. But for future reference, children, don't just start talking to strange people and agree to be the partners in anything, no matter what the situation. But I'm getting the sense Victor doesn't have, like, parents.
Do you contemplate death, Professor?
Only that of friends.
He's like, I live forever. Sorry, can't relate.
You should be proud of what you've accomplished, Victor.
Not that speech to make him feel better about the fact that you're practically immortal.
It's a sad truth that those who shine brightest often burn fastest.
Damn. But probably true, because I think a lot of them end up putting a lot of pressure on themselves, or potentially, you know, there's a whole lot of theories around people who are quote unquote too smart. If it's because they have other behavioral issues, you know, sometimes they tend to be buried in their work and they can't find balance in other things, or sometimes it's a side effect of a level of mental illness, which makes it difficult for them to find like a healthy balance in life. And others just, I feel like, are just almost too smart for this world, where they just know so much and understand so much that it's overwhelming, and then they turn to other things to basically make their brains slow down, like drugs and alcohol. So yeah, unfortunately that saying is true, is my point. It's sad, but I think a lot of that is because this world doesn't often foster bright brains. You either get people trying to use you or being jealous of you and trying to basically dim your shine. So that looked like an egg. Oh, look at you. You're an artiste too.
I didn't know you were an artist.
You back?
There's quite a lot about me you don't know.
Right? Maybe if you stuck around, you would have found out. I didn't say you could say it.
Victor's dying.
Well, that's a valid reason to leave then.
I didn't realize he was so close.
He's like my brother.
Deep. She's like, all right, well then lay in my lap then.
Nothing feels impossible when I'm with you.
Okay, that was deep. That was kind of cute.
I fell short of Madada standards.
How?
I don't believe that for a second.
Right?
We can't change what fate has in store for us, but we don't have to face it alone.
Aw, he's soft for you. Interesting. It's like she's trying to distance herself from him again because he's back to being, you know, like his ideals. I'm trying to figure Mel out here because I know she likes him, but it seems like she doesn't want the altruistic version of him. Oh yeah, I forgot. This thing like ate your blood. Is it gonna just like zap him now? Since it knows that's the source. I don't know if touching that directly is a good idea, but I mean, what do you got to lose, I guess? Oh dear. Well, that was either really good or really bad, if you know what I mean. Yeah, you need a doctor. Unless your girlfriend here can do some citrus.
Can you do this?
Ow! I feel like you just agitated that wound. Nailed it. Super smooth. Oh, they're there already. Wait, who's this? Is that one of the surfer people? How dare you, sneaky evil woman? I don't know. I'm like fascinated by her, but I'm also like sad.
No need. It's your sister. She's back.
Might as well.
Her back in town. It's only a matter of time before you implode, and Silco finally gets the message that you're about as good for our cause as you were for your family. Jinx.
Wow, you just trying to get killed. Got it.
I know just how to deliver that message.
I love the camera work in this show. It's so well done. I don't feel sorry for you, sir. This is all your mess. Wallow in it. Yeah, you should take that off forever. Oh, now the fake smile for your baby.
Ah, about time Daddy joined us.
That's where
You were
Silco is.
so busy. Little Wren here saw me in.
Mm-hmm.
And Daddy here assured me that she left with him. But it seems she never made it.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad? Could you imagine being separated from your father?
Damn, he is good.
I can't control her.
Silco's like, this is not my
Then
problem.
of what use are you?
Right.
I can fix this.
Can you?
Please.
You've been able to fix this for years.
They cannot be allowed to resurface. Do we understand each other?
Yeah. Bye. You're such a big man threatening children.
What?
Oh, this guy's still playing with this? Is he still alive? Victor? Victor, you there? Come in. Come in, Victor. Like you? Okay, maybe we don't want to make the monster plant. It might eat you.
They're rejecting the transmutation.
You need a catalyst, sounds like.
I can feel my body eroding.
That's not the right mindset, Vic. But seriously, it's been proven that mind over matter works. Victor's gotta think, I ain't dying until I figure this thing out. Are these people allergic to light? I don't feel like anything here is sanitary enough to deal with your wound. I'm sorry, but it's true. Oh, see? Oh, so this is where they were before. Makes sense.
I can tell. You have a good heart.
You've got a good
That's exactly what Vander said. That good heart might end up getting her in trouble, though. Heimerdinger don't like it. Oh, we're getting Heimerdinger memories, maybe? I've been wondering about this main.
Destroy it.
Whoa,
What?
that's extreme.
You've changed. What did you do?
What do you mean, Professor?
You look healthier.
We'll have it destroyed one way or another.
That's your opinion.
Another? See, I'm on both their sides, because, you can't be afraid of progress, but I understand that Heimerdinger is clearly coming from some real trauma, and they really don't understand this. What you doing, Caitlin? Please don't do something foolish. This is not your house.
Is she all right?
What the hell are you?
Or at least it was. I mean, I told her.
Oh, you were in the bar. You were the one that Vander helped.
Ailment.
wound. Stab wound. I mean, I guess it's help.
Wanted to feel what it was like to be somebody. To make other people afraid.
Oh, he took the sugar.
One other thing. I saw Caitlin Kierman had a prisoner released on your order. Is there anything I can assist with?
No. I totally knew about it. Whole time. Super knew about it. She didn't forge my signature or anything.
And who holds you accountable?
What?
He said what he said.
Time and again, you've warned us what not to do. But let me ask you this. What's your plan to fix this? Humans don't live for centuries.
Right?
We can't wait for progress.
That's very true. Heimerdinger does not think the way we do. He can't.
I believe it's time we gave the beloved founder of our city a well-deserved retirement.
One guy said, fire him! Jeez! It's hot, but jeez! I mean, but he has such a valid point. Heimerdinger just thinks people got time. They ain't got time.
Appreciation, Professor.
Jace got that good D. Sorry, they're super greedy at this table, Heimerdinger. You've got valid points, but you got nothing to back it up. Sorry. It sucks, but it kind of needs to be done because Heimerdinger seems to be like black or white. There's no in between with that man or whatever species he is.
Easy, easy.
Hope she doesn't get hooked on it. Well, isn't this cozy?
To have to be more careful now. Silco will be watching.
Speaking of careful, he used to live here.
You used to live here. How do you not know if your sister is alive or dead?
Been in jail.
Check up on people from inside a concrete cell.
What, you don't have parents?
No,
Nope.
they were killed by enforcers.
Since you asked. Not everybody has the picturesque life that you did, Caitlin. Please keep up. Did that little glass bumpy head freak tip somebody off? Addicts. Yep. So sad, but so real.
You talk too much.
So true. London Bridge is falling down. You better run, little bitch. Believe me, that was a mercy. Of course Silco survived. Why? Because he's like a size 00, so probably slid right through the eye. Oh, she's kept that all these years. Oh man, and poor Jinx. She still wants her family so bad. I knew he survived, didn't I say? Cockroaches survive everything. Wow, that image is amazing and so sad. She's trying to call them all back. What's the man, Silco? I thought you had everything under control. Jeez, this whole Undercity is... That was classic. But they're all high. Oh, Vi's gonna see the signal now. Woo, and war on the Undercity is about to kick off now. Again. This is not going to end the way you think it's going to end, my friend. And Silco is certainly not worth it. Oh, hey, this is the cave we started at.
I thought you understood. The mutation must survive.
Yeah, science has a dark side sometimes. The reality is a lot of the progress that we've made in medicine and science today have been at the expense of animals or humans. That it's pretty gruesome if you actually saw it. He's still under here?
I understand now.
He's like, who are you? It's still alive. What's the matter, Silco? Having a bad day?
How many problems can one girl cause?
Oh, challenge accepted. Another problem added to the list. You got 99 problems, sir. And that bitch is one.
Powder?
Ooh. Oh, this could be very sweet or very violent. Probably gonna be a bit of both.
Why? Oh, Powder!
I wouldn't run up for a hug yet. This girl be dropping explosives all the time like they candy.
I tried to come back. I promise I did, but I got arrested. I never thought I'd see you again.
It's what she wanted to hear, but does she believe it?
Things changed when you left. I changed.
Yeah. Like broke.
Who's she? Who are you?
It's okay. She's a friend.
Savika wasn't lying? You're with an enforcer?
Whoa.
This is a trick. You're playing me. Shut up! I'm in no mood.
Oh, wow.
We didn't say anything.
They're all with her, huh?
It's Jinx now. Powder fell down a well.
You're not a Jinx.
Damn.
You mean like I'm a child? Was that why you came? For this stupid stone?
Here comes the violent.
You can fire that thing if you want, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to abandon you again.
Look at her. Look at her. She is so gone. Vi, you have no idea how broken your sister is. Oh no, she's gonna think this was completely a setup now. Oh, you guys have the worst timing ever. Or at least you have your sister's back. That might help. But they have got legitimate beef with Powder. Can't even be mad. Why are you... Oh, God. Powder, if you set off another explosion, sis, I cannot defend you this time. She's good. Someone please pick that up for the love of God. Oh, damn, Vi. Oh, that is such a... Oh, these shots. That is beautiful. Yeah, she's not the little girl you remember. I'm sorry, Vi. That girl died. She ain't lying. She did fall down a well. Damn, her reflexes. She ain't no little baby no more. Yeah, that's your sister. She likes this now, honey. I'm sorry. Life means nothing to this girl now. Ow.
Take her.
Vi getting kidnapped again? Come on! Interesting. She hesitated before she lunged.
Vi?
No, she gone.
No!
Oh, man. Oh, poor Jinx. Oh, she's probably like, man, did my sister go again? And she was right in front of me and I did nothing. Oh my gosh, this poor girl, the mental anguish just keeps piling up. And unfortunately, what I predicted for the reunion came true. I knew there'd be a mixture of emotion and sadness, but also anger. And I'm going to get to it because I feel like that's the crux of this episode, quite honestly. But before that, Victor, liked seeing the backstory on him. We didn't really hear much about him outside of the fact that he was from the Undercity when he first showed up to become a researcher. But now we see that unfortunately, you know, he's always been ill from the looks of things. And we found out that apparently it's a side effect of being part of the Undercity. It's clearly not the safest or healthiest place to live, especially potentially if you are poor. And, but you know, he was always smart. He always had an eye, it looks like, for tinkering and creating things. And I love that. We've got three people who are really smart people between Powder and Victor and Jace, but we see that unfortunately he's always kind of struggled with this looming knowledge that his health was not the greatest, and that he probably knew to some degree that his life was always going to be shorter, but put his name to and feel like I've made my impression on this world. And I can only imagine that, like, I mean, I don't have any terminal illnesses, thank you God, and hopefully that won't happen to me anytime soon. But it's like, I feel like people who go through that or who've been chronically ill their entire life always struggle with the idea of, will I leave my mark? Because even though I'm not someone who's facing imminent death, I do worry about that sometimes. Like, am I going to leave a mark on this world? Like, am I going to really feel like I accomplished something that people are going to say, yeah, she did that? And, you know, because I think that's what all of us humans kind of want to have to some degree, is like knowing that we've made a mark or an impression. And for Victor, it'd be all the more imminent because he has had this illness looming over him. He's probably known since he was very young that he probably wouldn't live very long. And I think he really thought this hex tech was going to be his mark. And then, of course, it gets shut down and he thinks he's losing his partner. And then, you know, his health just kind I feel like these things are definitely related. I know the show's not going to get into it this deeply, but I honestly think that, like, I was talking about mindset in the episode about how Victor tells himself he won't live long enough to complete it. That's exactly what's going to happen with Victor. I think his mindset around wanting to survive now and his drive to make that happen is definitely pushing him to new heights in his creativity. But I understand that it's also just scary to know that it could be all over and to feel like you just have so much more runway left and life's giving you the short stick. And that kind of feeds into Heimerdinger and how he comes along and says to him, like, I heard about your prognosis and, you've done, this kind of his placating speech, which, I mean, how else is he supposed to do that? Because he has no concept of a short life. And they bring out the very poignant point, which is that, Victor's like, you have no idea what I'm going through, sir, quite frankly. He's like, you've got many accomplishments to your name because you're hundreds of years old and you probably have hundreds of years ahead of you. That kind of fed into Jace being far more motivated to shift back to what he went into Hex Tech for in the first place, which was to better people's lives and not to necessarily only do it for the rich and privileged, but for other people who need it a lot more desperately, aka people in the Undercity or people who have health issues. And I really like that moment that he had with Mel. Obviously she was understandably a little bit, miffed at being ghosted after her encounter with him, but, understanding why he did it and the fact that I was really wondering how he would feel about their connection after it all was said and done, because it did seem a bit sudden in the last episode that they were kind of just talking, then all of a sudden they were sleeping together. But I feel like it's been building over time, even though the show didn't give it to us. I'm glad to see that he does actually feel something and it wasn't just kind of something he regrets at this point, despite the negative turn of events with Victor. But it's now Mel that I'm questioning, because I think she seemed very surprised by the intimacy that he was showing towards her, despite the fact that they slept together, right? I would have assumed that she kind of would have expected it. But again, it's still new, right? This is a new dynamic for the two of them. And I kind of just liked how he was like, oh, I'm learning about you, like that you paint, for example. And then she kind of shared that thing about her being the outcast from her family. And then him just basically laying in her lap, which is a very vulnerable body, like that act of laying in someone's lap, especially belly up, is a very, body language wise, it shows extreme vulnerability. You don't do that with somebody unless you feel completely safe with them and usually very close to them. And so the fact that he did that, you could see she was a little surprised that I think he's showing that level of vulnerability with her right off the bat. I don't think she was against it, but she kind of had a look on her face when he said that he really wanted to get back to focusing on Hex Tech for the greater good. Because I think she's very much battling what she wants to do, which is, to continue to be this very successful, very rich, very innovative woman, which it might, again, harken back to the fact that her family does not think she's lived up to the standards that she was supposed to have. But also, I think she's maybe a little scared of feeling some type of way about Jace, especially considering he got up and ghosted her the next morning. Like could be just a little bit of personal fear there. But like I said, I think she likes Jace more when he's willing to walk those morally gray lines. And like last episode, he was showing that political side of him. And this episode, he's kind of going back to the altruistic scientist. And so, I don't know. We'll have to see. Like, the thing is, if she's going to love Jace, she's going to have to love all of Jace. But yes, that eventually led, of course, to what we saw. Heimerdinger has been dismissed as a member of the council. And that was a really hard one morally, I think, because, like I said, I see both sides of the equation. We saw that Heimerdinger had a really, visceral flashback when he saw that hex cube doing its thing. And clearly it looked pretty dark. It looked pretty morbid from the flash we had. So whatever happened, it scarred him, it traumatized him, and we already know he had a prejudice towards anything to do with the arcane as it stands. But now seeing this and having that memory, he's just tying a lot of his own past trauma and emotion to what's going on here. But it's not fair. It's not fair, and progress happens regardless. You really cannot stop progress. That's what happened here. Jace basically was like, no, your fear is not based on anything that makes sense to me or anyone else here. I love that line that he gave at the council meeting where he said, Heimerdinger, we don't live for hundreds of years. Humans don't live that long. We don't have the luxury of being patient with progress. We have to move when we can't, and basically let Heimerdinger know that he really doesn't relate to humans. I think that was pretty much the crux of it, and really that was the winning argument for Jace to get him voted off the council, because Heimerdinger is perfectly fine with waiting until this whole council dies out naturally and still not looking into the next steps of Hex Tech, or who knows, wiping it all out. It was a necessary step. It's sad. I mean, I hated seeing Heimerdinger's heart heartbroken face over feeling like his friends had turned on him, but it was kind of the necessary step in order to push progress forward, which for humanity is absolutely a necessity. But now on to the real moments of the episode as far as the Undercity. Caitlin and Vi running from Silco's people, them going back to her childhood home, which, we didn't know until a little bit later. And I can see where, A, that's one place that, Vi said is not easy for people to find, but 2, I think just being in her home space, like the last place she would have felt somewhat safe, is probably something she wanted to do mentally and emotionally anyways. But it looks like now it's full of a bunch of addicts. I think it's called Sugar. Maybe I'm mishearing that, but that's what it sounds like to me. All these addicts are now down here, and that's why this town is growing. But I think a lot of that scene was, of course, to help us understand more about where Vi and Powder have come from, but also for Caitlin to get even more exposure as to what life on the other side is really like, because she is from one of the richest families in Piltover, so she really has no true idea of what it's like to be poor, to be without. And as Vi pointed out to her, like, yeah, we don't all have parents. We don't all have the luxury of people to look out for us. Sometimes we have to look out for ourselves. I think Vi now sees that Caitlin is a lot hardier than she might have initially judged her to be based on how, rich and fancy she is. And of course we saw there is a little bit of sparks there. Clearly Caitlin's got a little crush, it looks like, developing here on Vi, but we'll have to see whether or not it's something that's reciprocated. And then finally we did have the reunion of Powder and Vi after long last, and that was kind of what a lot of people have been waiting for. I was half waiting for it, but I also knew that it was going to be, like I said, very bittersweet, and it's pretty much exactly what I thought it would be. First of all, a lot of it just being the recognition for Powder that her sister didn't die. After all, that's what she believed, and sadly she also thinks that Silco lied to her about that, but truthfully he didn't, but that's a whole other story. I'm trying to talk about this without taking forever, because I feel like I could go into the psychoanalysis of this for hours, but it's already been so long. What gets me with this is that Vi's had time to digest everything that's happened. Like she heard from, what's her name? The girl who ended up tied up to the roof. I can't think of her name right now. She heard from her already that Powder's been under Silco's tutelage, and she knew the whole time that Powder was most likely alive, but she didn't know for sure. Whereas Powder the whole time has thought her sister died that day. And so for Powder, that moment was relief. It was a little bit of joy, but then we saw in her mind, she was waiting there with the 2 people from her crew that died years before. Like she's carrying them with her like her 2 shoulder angels or devils, depending on what you want to say. Like she's still in this place of just waiting on her sister, basically the same place where they parted ways all those years ago. And when she sees Vi, like I said, you can see she's just not sure how to handle it. She's not sure if she should believe it. And then when she hears Vi tell her, like, I was in jail, like I didn't mean to leave you. And then you hear Powder kind of starting to slowly piece together what could have happened. And she wants to believe it, like, oh, okay, like maybe you didn't mean to leave me, right? She said, like, literally one thing I loved is that Vi managed to say pretty much all the things that Powder has probably been dreaming about. She's had so many years of distrust and so many years of festering on that breaking moment that they had that, it's not going to all be done in one speech, right? She's going to need to see some action behind this after all this time. And of course, we see that it goes all south when she sees Caitlin, and especially after what Dangling Lady told her about how Vi replaced her. That's another huge fear for Powder, right? She never wanted to be someone who was replaceable or forgettable. That was always her fear. So, and then of course the attack by I can't remember the name of it, the Firelights, is that what it's called? I think it's Firelights. That was just could not be the worst timing. It couldn't have been worse. They really couldn't have timed it any worse than it was. And so we have that amazing fight scene that happens. And I feel like the point of that scene was to show that these 2 still work really well together. But I mean, more so Powder actually being helpful instead of running and screaming and hiding. But I'm not blaming her for that, because before she was a child. But also to show Vi how much Powder has changed, because she has no idea. But also to see that she's not okay. Like, I think that Vi doesn't realize how mentally broken her sister is. And I don't even think this gave her even a full spectrum of how bad it is. The Firelights took the tech. And we did see that they had the opportunity to kill Vi, and whoever it was, maybe a leader, it was like, no, take her. I've talked a lot in this episode. I'm going to stop now. I think I do have more thoughts, but I think this is a great episode. I feel like I'm not sure where things are going to end, but I know it's going to be something that's definitely going to leave us absolutely grasping for season 2. So I am ready. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please give this video a thumb up, and we will see you in the next video.